If you want the perfect example of gaslighting, sheer incompetence, and how student members of this regime openly treat the American public, this is the video to watch. On the afternoon of May 28th, 2026, the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, claimed that it's actually possibly a positive sign for the economy that more Americans are dipping into their savings just to afford to survive. Specifically, he said that people are seeing how well the economy is doing, so they're taking money from their savings and shifting it over to the stock market and their 401k accounts. With gas over $4 per gallon, the job market performing much worse than it did in 2024, inflation hitting a 3-year high, and the cost of energy and basic utilities continuing to soar, no, it's not possibly a positive sign that Americans are pulling out of their savings just to get by. This comes a couple of weeks after another White House official, Kevin Hassett, claimed that research showing more Americans are spending on credit cards is a positive sign for the economy, telling Fox News' Maria Bartiromo, quote, "The consumer is really firing on all cylinders. I had the head of one of the big 5 banks in my office yesterday going through the credit card data. And just as Scott Bessent said, credit card spending is through the roof. They're spending more on gasoline, but they're spending more on everything else too," unquote. So let's puzzle this together, shall we? Americans spending on credit cards is, quote, "through the roof," unquote, while more households are having to dip into their savings. Another way to word that, more high-interest debt than savings. No, these aren't positive signs for the economy and the state of American families. What the hell is wrong with these people? They're stupid, and there's this. By all means, just shut up and lie. Call the data fake news or denying reports about the dwindling savings accounts of American households. That I can live with. However, don't sit there with a straight face and try to tell the American people on the idea that more debt and less savings is a positive sign for the economy. Especially, as I pointed out, when gas is over $4 a gallon, inflation is at 3-year heights, and the job growth is weak, and utility prices continue to climb. I am sick and tired of the stupidity. It's exhausting. Here are the facts. The economy is not in the new golden age. GDP growth is significantly lower than since Trump returned as president than it was when Joe Biden's last 2 years in office. 2025 was the worst year for job growth since the pandemic, and 2026 is shaping up to be as nearly as bad, if not worse. Consumer confidence is at historical lows. Inflation is at a 3-year high, and even before Trump's war in Iran was effectively at the same level it was when Biden left office. There was basically no improvement year over year. 2025 was also the worst year for layoffs. Utilities bills, the things that Trump promised would be cut in half within 12 months of of him returning to the White House are nearly up 6% year over year, one of the largest annual increases since the pandemic. And it's not a positive sign for the economy that more Americans are going into credit card debt while pulling money out of their savings to survive. And I'm not going to pull any punches here. If you actually believe that, you're a complete idiot, and I feel sorry for your ignorance. The fact that this regime relies on that type of stupidity from its supporters is a true testament to how little respect they have for any of them. And the sad part about that is that you idiots in the MAGA continue to defend this or excuse it. We're seeing the damage that Donald Trump has done. So what's your excuse going to be when you're broke? CTP, know the truth. God bless. Peace to the left, justice to the right.